All right, welcome to the Ramble on, where we're gonna nitpick and complain about How to Train Your Dragon 3. There are gonna be spoilers in this segment, nothing but, so brace yourselves.
As always, there are going to be spoilers.
Uh,
I can't say this is a lot like the Lego Movie, where it's such a shrug. It seems like the people that were involved didn't care much about it.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to have much to work with on this one.
no, nor I. I mean, like he says, like the Lego Movie, the pacing is just.
Well, it's not the same problem as the Lego Movie had. It's a different one. But before I get into that, I do want to also say, as far as Alita goes, I feel like even though I stand by what I said, I don't like the way I said it. I feel like I was a little bit too harsh in some places.
I disagree. I thought we were spot on with our criticism of Lita. What makes you think?
Mostly in the American recut part, where we were just a little bit too emotionally invested in that. I feel like we shouldn't do that in that part.
We do need to maintain a degree of objectivity, but I mean, all the same, the movie did build up quite a hype, and the fact that it did not live up to that hype.
By the way, I'm just going to say in the future, I'm going to try to be a little bit more
Refined.
refined in my American recuts. This part's going to stay the same. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, on to How to Train Your Dragon Part 3. And it is Part 3. Don't give me that hidden world bullshit.
No kidding. There's like, in the last two movies there were hidden morals, so I mean, like, why is this one any different?
Speaking of, I came into this one not having seen Part 2. Was there a bunch of character development that happened while I wasn't watching?
So because you didn't see part two, there were some characters that were introduced and lost.
There's Hiccup's mom and
The death
whoever
of
that guy is.
Yeah. That okay. If I may rant a bit, why didn't the second villain appear in this one? Because didn't he like run away in the last one? I'm very sure he ran away.
I assume he ran away off a cliff into the water and died instantly, because that's how they kill these villains in these movies.
Essentially, yeah. God. That's essentially what happened to this villain. He just plummeted to his doom.
He fell in the water. That's an instant death, my dude.
So, and then another thing I kind of want to rant. You said this was a book series?
It's apparently based on a series. I had no idea.
Nor I. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
I saw it on the IMDb page. I mentioned it briefly. I guess it has some backing to it as a book series.
Well, to any who read the book series, please do let us know how true.
I don't think anyone read the book series. But I think that the big thing I'd say about this movie, and the biggest suggestion I would have made to the script as well, is a lot of the side plots don't get enough time to be fleshed out. We have things like the Hiccup struggling with his role as a king and the marriage. We have... let's see. Let me think of all the subplots. I'm kind of forgetting a lot of them.
We have...
there's his mother who's there but doesn't really get anything done. I guess there's a subplot with what's his name, the little short guy that's got short man syndrome.
Oh, played by Jonah Hill. Yeah, that was just cringeworthy.
Basically, everything involving the villains gets nowhere near enough time. We don't know who they are, what their real motivation is, or anything beyond they're bad guys that are bigger and badderer than before who want to take their dragons.
Like we said before, this is like the Lego Movie, where they introduce us to a plethora of characters, they just
I disagree.
are in the background.
I disagree. I think that with the Lego Movie, there was this real sense of dread about where they were going with the series. They had a lot of self-deprecating jokes. They had a lot of stuff where they were pointing out their own flaws, and they were pointing out basically that, hey, we're selling out. We're making another Lego Movie. You know what to expect. With this one, it felt like there was less of a passion, but without the self-mockery. It was just kind of a movie where it hit the points, and then it was done.
Yeah.
No more.
That's exactly what I felt with this movie.
It felt like they were fatigued with the Dragon series and wanted it to be over, rather than feeling a sense of dread like you did with the Lego Movie.
Yeah. I didn't have any expectations going into the movie, because it is a kids movie, and it's essentially the same like some of the last two movies, but
speaking of it being a kids movie, one minor rant I have: why do they give all the characters bladed weapons if they're never going to use them?
I don't know. They did it with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Why give Leonardo katanas if he never uses them?
Well, that was the 80s. That was when everything shot lasers to avoid getting a PG-13 rating. This is now where we have these characters who are explicitly given battle axes, they're given maces. There's literally a sword that lights on fire, and none of them get used.
No.
Every time you see these in a scene, they like bash them on the head with a dull end, and then plant it in the boat or pose with it instead of actually doing anything with their weapons. Which it bothers me because couldn't they give them blunt weapons? Couldn't they give them ways to do things without
clubs? Yeah, the works.
Being the fat boy that falls down and goes boom and knocks down the other guys.
Yeah.
Which they did.
Which, okay, if I may also get in, those Mongolians died. A lot of people in that fleet died.
There is straight up a part where they have a whole bunch of gasoline that he throws his sword into and ignites like 30 people.
Yeah.
And they treat it as like a silly moment. It's really weird.
No.
And yeah, this is a movie where like even the combat scenes, it's like just the main 6 people just kind of screwing around for a while, bumbling about a ship, and they manage to crash it into the entire fleet and kill everyone.
Yeah, you do not get back up from that. They killed everyone. I mean, I get that you're Vikings and pillaging is what you do, but...
they're not really Vikings, though. Like...
They're not.
Alright, so here's a topic I do want to get into, though. Is Hiccup a bad ruler? Like, the movie likes to play up that he's a good ruler because he came up with another harebrained scheme to go and save everything or something. But I think he's a bad king.
I think so, too. I don't know. I'm just annoyed by Hiccup because he's... the same character from the last 2 movies. He has some insecurities and he starts to go into self-doubt and depression, and then he rebounds from that and saves the day.
That's a classic protagonist move, though. I can't be mad about that. That's just what you do with a protagonist. You have them doubt themselves and bounce back and say, I believe in myself again. But in this case, he made tactical, terrible decisions for his community. Because he uproots them from their ancestral home, which is thousands of years old.
Right.
Blatantly trying to save these creatures that only showed up in like the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Canonically for them.
Roughly.
He takes them. Sets them on an uncertain journey towards potential death by just flight exhaustion. He happens upon an island. Lucky him.
No kidding.
He ignores the will of his people. And then the worst part is he sends the only advantage they have over all the fleets, because you can see the other fleets. There are thousands and thousands of ships. They have maybe 5. He sends the only tactical advantage they have, being dragon riders, which is what distinguishes them, and then banishes all the dragons. They're gone. They have no advantage. There's no way to guarantee their safety anymore.
No, not even remotely. He is a bad ruler. It's like you said. He made terrible decisions that endangered the dragons and his people.
Well, his people more than his dragons.
Yeah. All the same, I mean, I kind of expected better from him. I expected some pedigree of maturity instead of this opening cockiness we're given from him.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he does have a badass set of armor, and the flamethrower does look really cool with him.
That was cool, and I feel like that armor's wasted on him because I mean, like, no, it's all fine. He's like trying to talk this guy down.
It's wasted on this movie because these are set pieces that would look awesome if they were allowed to actually kill people with a fire sword.
Right? No, I mean
they're not. So
no. What a waste.
The villain, I feel like you could sum up in one sentence: he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
His motivation is literally, I hate Night Furies, so I'm going to kill all Night Furies.
Yeah, just your run-of-the-mill psychopath.
And he has this weird thing, like, my question was, why does he even have the female Night Fury? Like, why is she there?
I don't know. Why didn't he kill her on the spot? That's
exactly.
A good question.
It's in the character for him to just kill him impulsively on the spot. He tries to kill Toothless on the spot as well every chance he gets.
Right. I mean, if you have... Well, God, that's a good question. Why does he keep using trank darts?
What kind of weird purple mind control thingy does he use to make the good dragons bad dragons?
Oh, yeah. He uses the dragon's own venom, which... Why are they not immune to that, and why didn't they develop a tolerance to that? But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he uses the dragon's own venom.
It's just a dumb plot device. I didn't like him at all. He comes across as like constantly quipping at people, but without any actual intelligence behind it.
No, not at all. I mean, he's just a a generic villain that
He's fine. He serves a purpose if the point of the movie is Hiccup growing as a person. But that gets rushed so hard that I don't think that's the point of the movie either.
no.
I think that the meat of the movie is devoted to Toothless falling in love, learning to trust his instincts, and becoming a dragon king, I guess,
Right.
with a dragon queen.
A recurring theme to this franchise is the notion of growing. You know, you all gotta grow. Hiccup had to step up and become
Chief.
chief.
That was the first movie, though.
Yeah, that was the first movie, and they did it again. That's a good point. But I mean, this time they kind of apply that to the dragons, because
Which I don't know why. The dragons are a plot device. They are the fun and games of the movie. You don't make the whole movie about the growth and character development of Toothless, the lizard.
I mean, he's half of that dynamic duo.
Well, he's half the dynamic, but he's there for some of the shots, the set pieces, the unique setting of the movie. That's what he's there for. He's not there to be another character to compete with our protagonist.
God, this goes back to what you said. There were just so many subplots.
There's a lot of subplots.
And I get they're trying to include the entire cast, but there's so many characters. It's hard to cram that many character arcs into.
Especially whoever the fat kid is. I don't know what his name is, or the sister of the guy where they kept on shoehorning in the beard joke over and over.
Yeah.
His sister and the fat kid don't get any screen time. Like there's a weird thing with like a Chekhov's gun where they keep on mentioning, you take that baby dragon with you everywhere you go. That's going to get us all killed someday. And then he's like, you'll see, he'll save us all. They keep on bringing it up, and the only payoff is some big dragon that kind of likes a little dragon keeps doing the things he's doing around the little dragon. That's it. There's no real payoff. And that's not what you want for that kind of joke.
Not satisfying, no. And then, similar to the whole Craig Ferguson's character, the blacksmith, keeps seeing these little purple dragons. They're supposedly bad omens, but
I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
That was pretty dumb. I mean,
the whole twist is they like wood.
They like wood. And, of course, he has a wooden leg, so...
Again, it's a pretty weak payoff.
It really is.
For a lot of setup.
No. And just some of the character interactions themselves are a little cringy.
I kind of like... Well, I mean, I didn't like it, but I understand why they had the thing with Hiccup's mom and the little shorty.
I didn't. Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I get where that's coming from, because... It's a usual trope where you have like the badass female lead give a small hint of encouragement to the overly cocky guy to make him pluck back up. It happens in a lot of movies. It happens here too.
It does.
It's fine.
Except there's more of a romantic, or rather a one-sided infatuation with
there's
this.
There's one character who's like the stereotypical Viking. Like he's huge, he's buff, he speaks confidently, he seems intelligent. I think his name is Eric or something like that. He shows up in this movie. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, he has a lot of lines for not doing anything.
Yeah. Let me see. I mean, I feel like that was the same way with...
I wouldn't have the desk.
Let's edit that out. No, again, we're just so many... Same with the Warlords. They're just there.
Oh, the Warlords have no character. They exist to be a threat.
Yeah. I just found it amusing that this one weird antagonist hooked up with the Mongolians. They looked like...
He got hired on it. He had a former relationship with someone in there.
Yeah, Gerard Butler. He had some kind of connection with Gerard Butler's character.
Guy.
Yeah.
This movie all feels like it's building up to the ending, which is just kind of a bye-bye Butterfree moment where it's bye-bye dragons, we're not good enough for you, we gotta let you go. And then they go.
Which seems to defeat the purpose of the first movie. Wasn't the whole point of like...
I mean, it defeats the purpose of this movie, because the whole point was, we gotta fight to keep our dragons, but let's send them all away.
Too much fighting. Yeah, too much fighting, too much danger. Let's send them away.
Which, I mean, I don't know what the point is, because this is clearly Hiccup protecting the dragons, not his people. Which, Hiccup seems to forget he's not a dragon.
I know his infatuation with the dragons over his own people seems.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of the villain, because there's a weird moment in the movie where the villain's monologuing at Hiccup, and he says like, "The first time I met a Night Fury, I slew it where it was, and that started my life of hatred," which is kind of this weird like mirror thing, like we're not so different, you and I moment, but they're completely different
Oh, in every respect. I don't
in
know
every
why.
single respect.
Why did and Hiccup just kept letting him talk for a good 5 minutes and never pounced on him. He kept turning his
He
back
tried.
to Hiccup and
He tried once, like early on when they set up the trap for him, and they're like, now! And then everyone comes out with their weapons and doesn't do anything because they're not allowed to. It would bump the rating up.
that's fair. No, that's also they play off the villain as some brilliant tactician, and he does outsmart Hiccup.
Not
but
really. He just kind of has these really badass dragons that he keeps on using over and over.
yeah, that's his first and foremost strategy.
That's his first and final strategy: is use the dragons that I got.
Yeah,
He's not a tactician. He's just.
These dragons that I brainwashed.
I feel like this is also missing one of the most important emotional beats this movie could have, which is when Hiccup has to make the hard choice to abandon his lifelong home and the home of his people for generations and generations to pursue safety to the west.
Oh, yeah. No,
There should be a moment where we get a good 10, 15 minutes of characters coming to Hiccup, pleading their case, arguing for or against this. A very long series of emotional goodbyes to places that he loved. Maybe use those flashbacks of his dad to say,
Right.
I have a connection to this place, my bed, my home. But instead, it's just kind of let's get the fuck out of here. And then says, yeah, okay, let's hop on the dragons and go.
No hesitation. And everyone kind of 180s on that as well. I mean, they're reluctant at first, but then they totally 180
When they get there, because it's cool, we'll just build some stuff here.
Yeah, and there's no way the enemy followed us.
Yeah, it was pretty weak.
Pretty weak.
And that one should have had a better emotional beat. Even for a kids movie, that should have had the emotional beat of... Because if you look at this from the kids movie perspective and what's teaching kids, this is all about we're having a big move. We're moving away from our home where you grew up in.
Right.
This is a hard move. But in this movie it says, don't be a fucking pussy. Just move.
Right. Again, that whole theme of growing up, but they totally blew... No, moving is a tough transition for a kid, and they totally just...
And that's kind of been a big thing I focus on when I watch anything for kids is, what lesson is this teaching? What are we doing here? And plus of this movie are kind of... Some people are just bad dudes. Moving is painless and easy.
And just suck it up and get married.
and we had to send the dog upstate for his own good.
Essentially, yeah.
You know that pet that you love? The world doesn't deserve them. You can't have it.
Nope. Jesus.
Yeah, this really felt like a movie where the whole point was the ending where they can say, all right, dragons are gone. We're done.
Yep.
Let's make new movies. Let's make new movies. Let's get done with this stuff.
Let's focus on something else. And I kind of get that exasperation because it's like we've said time and time again in other Ramble-ons. Hollywood is just so accustomed to capitalizing on stuff that was already so successful.
Well, I think with animation especially, this is something where you can really catch this going on, where if the animators and the story writers aren't motivated to keep working on a series, it shows really hard.
Right.
Because Alita, say what you will about the quality, the actors, the story, and everything else, it had that heart to it. It at least cared about the story it was telling. You could tell that much at least.
There was ambition.
This was not a cash-in. This was someone's passion project, and they cared deeply about it. Lego
Right.
Movie 2 and How to Train Your Dragon, there was no passion there.
No, it's hard to rekindle that flame when you wrote the first movie. No, Nick's right. There was a lot of ambition in Alita, and while it did fall short
In every way.
in every way, and I want to blame James Cameron on that. He should have done it the animation instead of that Robert Rodriguez guy.
I don't think you can put everything on one person's shoulder, because everybody failed this movie. The CGI department. Anyway, we've talked about Alita.
We have a whole...
For How to Train Your Dragon 3,
The animation's consistent. It's pretty...
It's consistent. It's good. A lot of levels, the places are uninspired. Like the Dragon Cavern. Yeah, of course, it's like translucent with stalagmites and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect.
It's pretty. It's mesmerizing to look at. It's very colorful, but story-wise and character-wise, it's not as exquisite as the first or second movie, which the second movie I thought was kind of well done. Not as good as the first, but definitely better than the third. Well,
Yeah, I'd say overall though, if you're looking for like something that shakes up the formula and really gets us into the murder and killing of Vikings, you're not going to find anything different here.
no, it's just Mongolian ships on fire, and
It's just there's a bigger and badder dude that wants to take those darn dirty dragons down,
yeah.
and we don't deserve dragons, and kind of just a cap on the series, which fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a underwhelming cap. I mean,
It's very underwhelming. It's I can't think of anything else to really say though. It's underwhelming. Things got rushed.
things did.
Like storylines got rushed. I mean, like there's like 5 storylines that all feel kind of rushed, except for the toothless romance. So if you're here for the hot dragon sex, got you covered.
No, I mean, if you want to see it in theaters, then the effects and the dragon romance
They're good enough.
is a good enough incentive. Yeah. Otherwise, save your $10 for another movie. Which
There's not many movies out right now though.
no, I mean we have the exciting Captain Marvel movie coming out.
Yes, we do. We'll be talking about that next week.
Yes, we will, and pretty much that's all our 2 cents on How to Train Your Dragon 3. Just shrug.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's a movie. It exists in theaters.
It's not good. It's not terrible. It's just meh. It's just meh.
It's fine. This is fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Thanks for joining us.